All right, good afternoon. Welcome to Daf Yomi Masechs Moed Katan Daf Chav Gimel number 23. I'm able to squeeze in one more share this Sunday today. Today's Daf is Chav Hey, but I'm getting back there. I had to make up a lot of Dafim, so today we're doing the Chav Al Chav Beis. Now we do Chav Gimel. It's a short Daf. Start from the bottom of Chav Beis Amid Beis. The Gemara says. Tana Rabbanan, the third to last line. Chacham Shemeis Beis Midrasho Batel. Let's say a Tana Chacham dies. He was a Rosh Yeshiva, or he had a Beis Med, Rosh Kollel. So the place where he taught that day of the morning, they're Batel, they don't learn. Av Beis in Shemeis, let's say an Av Beis in the city, the head died and the city died. Kol Bate Midrash Shebiro B'Telin. The day of his burial, all the Beis Medrashes stop learning. When they come to daven, they change their place in shul. Yoshim the Safon, Yoshim the Darum. If you sit normally in the north, you sit in the south. Yoshim the Darum, Yoshim the Safon. If you sit in the south, you sit in the north. It doesn't say anything about people who sit in the east, sit in the west and the east. Obviously, if you have the Mizrach, you're a chashuv person. You don't leave your chashuv place because you're chashuv. Nasi Shemeis Beis Midrashos Kulin B'Telim. The president dies, all the base measures are B'Telim B'nei HaKnesses, Nechlas Beis HaKnesses. It's interesting, B'nei HaKnesses, it doesn't say people of the Beit HaKnesses, B'nei HaKnesses. Nasi, the president of Israel, he dies, all the base measures are Batel on the day of his burial. B'nei HaKnesset, the people in the Knesset, because he had 120 members of the Knesset. I don't know if he likes that kind of explanation. Arshkol explains that people in the shul, but whatever. That's the base of Knesset. They go into a shul, the Kar and Shiva. It is talking about, seemingly the article says it's talking about if it happened on Shabbos, so you read normally 7 aliyahs from the Torah of the Yotzin. Instead of having a minyan for Shachris and Musaf, you just come in for Kriyas and Torah, and Shachris and Musaf, you down by yourself. B'Shub and Karcha Omer, Lo Sheyecho Yitayel B'Shuk. When they're not supposed to be learning or davening, it shouldn't mean they should go ahead and stroll in the marketplace. Yoshim V'Domin, they should sit privately in their houses and be silent and contemplate the morning. Another halacha is that in the house of a mourner, you're not supposed to say Torah publicly. He would publicize Torah in the house of an Avel. This has something to do with the Nasi or Av Beistin or the Rosh Shiva Dani. Shabbos Rishon and Yosef Pesach Beso. And Avel, the first week of his mourning, when he's still a mourner during Shiva, he doesn't leave his house to go to shul on Shabbos. Shnia Yotzev and Yoshim Komo, the second Shabbos, he leaves. He sits in a different place. Shlishis, the third Shabbos, Yoshim Komo ve'eno medaber. He sits in his place but doesn't speak. Or Revius Hareu Kol Adam, the fourth week, he comes to shul and he speaks. What does it mean he speaks? Medaber, it doesn't say davening. Apparently, you'll have to speak in shul. All those signs that say terrible to speak in shul, and obviously, if you don't speak in shul for a whole year, it'll cure all those people from cancer. It'll bring all the Yeshuas. Gemara says that regular people talk in shul, as the Gemara says here. I don't know any other way to explain it. That's the Tanakama. Yehuda Omer. You don't have to say the first week while during Shiva he doesn't leave his house. Everyone's coming to comfort him. Must be the second week, and he doesn't leave his house to go to shul. The third week he goes to shul, but doesn't sit in his normal place. The fourth week he sits in his place but doesn't speak. The fifth week he talks about the news and politics and sports and entertainment, whatever you want to talk about in shul. But it says it over here in the Gemara. What does it mean? Yoshev Mukomo Daber. One of my producers over here is telling me how could I say such a thing Medaber, but the Gemara says Chamishas Medaber. Goldam is Medaber in shul. What does it mean to Medaber in shul? What does that mean? It doesn't say Mispalel. It says Medaber. What is he speaking about? Back to the Torah? It's learning. All right. Sorry, the Gemara doesn't always say what corroborates modern practice among ultra-Orthodox Jews. All right. The Gemara says, it's interesting, I saw one of these podcasts. They interviewed Ben Shapiro. They asked him, when does he relax? He says he goes to shul, and while he's shul, he relaxes. He contemplates on davening, and he reads also. And they're like all making a big thing out of Ben Shapiro. It's from Rabbanim, from Boca Raton. They make a big thing out of Ben Shapiro that he goes to shul and he relaxes in shul, and his mind is free to daven and to think about kedusha. But he also said, and he reads in shul. He davens and he reads. What is he reading over there? He's reading, I don't know, the New York Times. Is he reading the Washington Post, the Boston Globe? I don't know. What is he reading over there? They didn't make mention of the fact. They were just so impressed they were able to interview Ben Shapiro. And what does it mean he relaxes in shul when he davens? I thought you're supposed to put effort into davening. But I'm not saying anything about Ben Shapiro. I'm sure he davens well. But I'm just saying he reads, The Gemara seems to say you're supposed to talk a little in shul. How am I saying this? Chas v'sholom to say this, but it does say in the Gemara. There's no way out of this. It says it over here.
Question mark.
What Itamar, my friend, says you have to do a question mark. I'm just curious what the article says. What does it say? He does not speak. He does not speak. What do they say? Rather, he sits quietly, does not talk as much as he usually does. He does not talk as much as he usually does. He's like any other person. Doesn't say. The article seems to agree with what I'm saying. All right. Tana Rabbanan, Kol Shoshim Yom Nisuin, Kol Shoshim Nisuin. All 30 days of Avelus, you're not allowed to get married if you're not married. Mesa Ishto, let's say you are married and the person you're sitting Shiva for is your wife. Asr Lisa Isha Acheres, you're not allowed to get married during Achiyavru Alav Shlosha Regalim. You have to wait till all 3 regalim have passed, then you get married. You don't regal rishon v'sheni aser. You have to wait for 2 regalim. Shlishi mutter. The 3rd regal, you're allowed to get married before the 3rd regal. If he has no children, he has some kind of period of mutter lisa la'alter. He can even get married right away, even after 30 days. Mishum betel b'hirav yerevia. Hanichal abanim katanim. Let's say also he was married, but now he has small children. Mutter lisa is la'alter. He can get married. Maybe even la'alter even means within 30 days, but maybe on a sasan, in order for the woman to take care of them. I know my wife is in the hospital and I just had a daughter, Baruch Hashem, Mazel Tov to me and to my family, but I'm taking care of the young kids. You really need a woman to take care of them. It's really difficult to take care of young kids. The wife Yosef going to die. Amar la'achosa, at the burial, he said to his sister-in-law, come marry me and take care of your sister's children. Even though he got married within Shloshim, he did not have Tash Shamita with her until a long time. How long? After 30 days after the burial, he was able to cohabit with his sister-in-law. Another one of the restrictions of Avelis, all 30 days, you're not allowed to wear freshly pressed, dry cleaned iron clothes, whether they're old or new. Yotzin mitoch amachbesh, even if they're old, if they were just pressed, they were just iron, you're not aware. Rabbi says they only answered kelim chadashim, only new clothes that were finely pressed. Only new clothes that are also white. Abaye nafik begard the sarbula to Rabbi. Abaye practiced like Rabbi, and therefore he went out with a coat that was pressed, but it was an old coat that was pressed. Rava nafik mutsasa rumisa sumkasa. He went out with a new tunic. Tunic, I guess, is like a bekisha or whatever. Chati, a new one that was red because it wasn't white, so he was allowed to. Rabbi Lezer Shimon following the practice. Rabbi Lezer Shimon. Bnei Yehuda, the Mishnah says Shabbos counts towards the minyan of Shiva, and it doesn't cut off your Avelos, your Shiva. Bnei Yehuda, Bnei Galila, Hani Amra, there was a machlokas in people in Yehuda and people in Galil. Galil is the north, Yehuda is the south, right? Israel. Hani Amri, one of them would say, Yesh Avelos b'Shabbos, there is Avelos on Shabbos, Hani Amri, and Avelos on Shabbos. The others would say there's no Avelos on Shabbos. Now we're talking about private, you're definitely not allowed to express Avelos in a public manner, but privately, for example, not cohabiting with your wife or not doing rechitza in private, that's a question related to on Shabbos. The one who says there is a veilus on Shabbos, what's the proof for that? The Kasani Ola, it says that it counts for the minion of Shiva. It counts. You see, there is a veilus on Shabbos. The fact that Shabbos doesn't cut off your veilus, you see that there's no veilus on Shabbos. Otherwise, it would cut off like Yom Tov, where you're not allowed to do avelos. You're not allowed to do avelos b'Shabbos, meaning you have to act b'simcha. It doesn't cut off Shabbos. Because if you think yesh avelos b'Shabbos, if you think there is avelos b'Shabbos, hashta avelos nahaga avsukim ibay. If avelos applies, so then how is it going to cut off the avelos? If you think avelos does apply, meaning what's the reason the Mishnah has to say that it doesn't cut it off? Once avelos applies, of course it's not going to cut it off. So the fact the Mishnah went out of its way to say Shabbos is not mafseka, so it shows that must be there's no avelos, because that's why it has to tell you it's not mafseka, because there's no avelos. Elahad Katani is now we have to deal with the proof. Each position has to deal with the proof of the other. Elahad Katani Ola. The fact that one opinion says that the first opinion says that there is a veilus b'Shabbos. The second opinion says there's no avelos b'Shabbos. Right? Privately, there's no avelos at all on Shabbos. What do you do with the fact that it accounts for the minion of Shiva? I.e., the Kaboy Lamisa Seifa in an Olin, the fact that by Yom Tov it says they don't count Hana Reisha Ola. It says Reisha that it counts, which seemingly means that you're allowed to do. You're allowed to it can't, meaning Hana Reisha Ola. Therefore, the Reisha said it counts. When it counts, doesn't mean that that you're allowed to do things, that you're not allowed to do things on. This opinion holds, like the second opinion holds, that there is a no avelos b'Shabbos. All the restrictions, you're not allowed to. You have to do tashmish hamita. You're not allowed to act any avelos b'Shabbos. It just counts because it counts as a minion shiva. Like we said, the minion of shiva is not necessarily connected to the hanhagos or avelos. It counts because it's not Yom Tov. It's not like Yom Tov. The reason Yom Tov doesn't count is because Yom Tov has the mitzvah of Simcha Derabim is Mavatal the Asay Diyachid. But when it comes to Shabbos, Shabbos is not Simcha Derabim. There's no mitzvah of Samach B'Chakecha. There's no Simcha Derabim. So therefore, they would count towards a minyan on Shabbos, even though there's no Avelos. Umad Amar Yesh Avelos b'Shabbos. According to the second opinion, that the first opinion says Yesh Avelos b'Shabbos. Hakasani ein mafsekas. It says there is avelos b'Shabbos, so why does it not cut off avelos? Mishum the kabayil lemisa seifa mafsikin. Tanaresha ein mafsekas. Right, really, you don't have to say this, right? If you hold manar yesh avelos b'Shabbos that there is avelos b'Shabbos privately, you're supposed to do hanagas avelos. So why does the Mishnah have to say that it doesn't cut off? It's obvious it doesn't cut it off. So the reason it says, because the Seifa said Mafsikim by Yom Tov, it cuts it off. So therefore it was necessary to say, it wasn't necessary, but agav that, it also said Ein Mafsekas, that's obvious. Tana Reisha Ein Mafsekas, the Rosh Hashanah said Ein Mafsekas, it's unnecessary, because once Avelos applies, of course it doesn't cut it off. Le'muktan, I say this, Machlokas, the Yehuda and the Galileans is a Machlokas Tanoim. Misha Mesa Mutal Afanav. Let's say a person's on Ninos, right? He hasn't buried his deceased yet. Ochel B'Bayis Acher, he's supposed to eats in another house where the dead person's not. Ein lo bayis hach, he doesn't have a second house. Ochel beis chaver, eats in his friend's house. Ein lo beis chaver, he doesn't have his friend's house is not available to eat in. Oselo machitza asar tvachim, he makes a wall 10 tvachim and he eats. Ein lo davar lasos machitza, he doesn't have things to make a wall. Maxer panav ochel, he turns his back from the mace and eats. Ein lo mesa ochel, he doesn't lean when he eats. Ein ochel basar and shows a yain, he can't eat meat or drink wine. Vein Mavarach Mizam doesn't make a bracha on the food, he doesn't say a bracha achrona, a bracha samazon, Mavarach and love. People don't make brachas for him. Vein Mizam and love, there's no zimun, upater b'kriyah shema, v'chim minat tefillah, he's pater from kriyah shema, tefillah, and tefillah, and mekom mitzvahs amoros b'torah, all the mitzvahs. So Shabbos, Mesa, v'ochel, basar, v'shas, yayin, If the person died on Shabbos, then he could eat reclining, he could eat meat and drink wine. Mavarach mazamin alav. He can make all the brachas. He can make a zimun. V'chayev b'kriyas shema v'tfilah. His tefillin chol mitzvahs more with Torah. He's an onay, but it's Shabbos, so therefore he chayev in all the mitzvahs. Shin Galil Omer mitoshin is chayev elin is chayev b'kulon. Because he's chayev in all the mitzvahs on Shabbos, he's chayev in kulon. He's coming to add. There's a specific heter, an addition. Amar Yochanan Tashmin Yida B'Genayu. Yochanan, what's there to the Tanna Kama and Shin Galil? Shin Galil has an extra heter. He allows even avelos of sinna, for example, Tashmish Hamita. Gamliel allows you to do on Shabbos, you're chayiv in the mitzvah of Puruv or Oneg Shabbos, that to be on Shabbos, that you're allowed to do. According to Tanakama, you're not allowed to do. So that's the machlok. Gamliel holds that there's no availus for Shabbos at all. And Tanakama, there is availus for Shabbos. And whereas my love hagmilfik, the Marsar is availus for Shabbos. That the Tanakama holds there is availus for Shabbos. Marsar Shmuel holds ain't availus for Shabbos. Marsar Mai, how do you know that's machlokas in Tanakama Shmuel? Dilma Adkam Kamar Tanakama Hasam. Tanakama says it over there. El Mishum Demesa Muta Lafanov. That's talking about Aninas. The dead person is there, and therefore Aval Hacha the Ain Mesa Muta Lafanov. But here by Avelus, where the dead person is not lying there, low. Tanakama, we thought Tanakama says that there is a Avelus. That's only because Anina is more Chomer, laying there. Gamliel only allows you to do Tashmish Hamita, the Kati Lachal Avelus allowed, because he holds Avelus is more Chomer than Aninas, and there's no Avelus yet. The Chal Avelus allow Hakanami. But in the case where the Avelus already started before Shabbos, so then he would ask for you. Even there would be Avelos on Shabbos, and you would not be allowed to engage in Tashmish Hamita on Shabbos. Thank you for enjoying the shir. Subscribe. See you tomorrow. Bye.